Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. We are from Group 2, which consists of Alvari, Askal, Pindra, Agif, myself, Altaf, and Destian Badra, are going to present about the strategic analysis of PT KAI Indonesia. Next. So, KAI is the Indonesian state-owned enterprise responsible for operating in the country's railway services. Established in 1945, PT KAI plays a pivotal role in Indonesia's transportation infrastructure and providing passenger tourism and freight services. They have a vision and mission such as on the slide, and they also have six subsidiaries company, which consists of KAI Services, KAI Bandara, KAI Komuter, KAI Wisata, KAI Logistik, and KAI Property. They also have sustainability action, which they have committed to various CSR initiatives, including community development, environmental sustainability, and also the educational programs.
Okay, so moving on to the early stage of the problem. So we've conducted an in-depth research about the transformation of KAI, and we found four pain point, which is the number is bad corporate culture, lack of SOP, underpaid workers, and lack of service quality, safety, comfort, and punctuality, which impact one of the most impactful impact is the reluctant to change of the internal of the KAI itself, proven by the statements on the right. Next slide, please.
Okay, so now let's move on to the human resource. So we conduct an analysis in each perspective of management. The first one is from human resource, where KAI have implemented two types of changes in their organization since Mr. Jonan arrival as Director Utama. So KAI conduct strategic changes, which consist of three components, which are changes in culture and core values, changes in business direction or focus, and also changes in work methods. And KAI used two types of model on implementing changes in their internal organization in order to strategically assess the concern correctly to turn into customer-oriented. The two models that are implemented in KAI is Lewin's three-step model and also Kotter's eight-step change model. And the highlighted point in this slide is that KAI changed their orientation from product-oriented into customer-oriented. So their focus is to focus on the customer welfare from service and facilities. And in HR perspective, PT KAI start to increase the absorption of higher education and implement new culture in the organization, proven by the data where the undergraduate percentage absorption is increasing. And also they implement 5 KAI main values and implement a new official uniform, where then KAI new internal culture programs are provided in the slide. And to make the human resource have a sustained capabilities, PT KAI did some advanced training to fulfill their service expectation targets. There are several pusat pelatihan didik owned by PT KAI. They also did some overseas training benchmarking in Australia, France, and also Italy. And also they maximize tunjangan or remuneration like tunjangan anak istri and others. And what this HR strategy leads to is that four outputs. The first one is customer oriented that focuses on giving customer additional value. The second one is positive and progressive internal culture. The third one is high human resource capabilities. And the last one is good upfront services, or in HR book is called vertical integration.
So next, on the operational aspect, to understand the current improvement of KAI on the operational aspect, first we need to look back again at the old KAI and see what can be improved. And based on the Givari slide, we can conclude that all of the pain points and the impact that the old KAI has that is bad can be solved with a great, much more effective operational flows. And here are the operational flow that exists in KAI in the early stage. First, there are the overloaded passengers, where there are no numbering on the seat, so people can position themselves all over the place. And next, there are the free riders who sneak their way in because they can just say that they're just entering the train to accompany the passengers. And next, the limited passenger trains, proven by the Sabu Jaga train, which is a luggage train that carry a passenger at peak season. And loose and unstructured regulation, people can still buy ticket inside the train, and they can stop the train at any time as they please, making it ineffective, and also the hot and unpleasant smells of the environment of the train itself. Next slide. So as you can see in here are the problem, and here are the required solution that we can take. First, on the overall passenger, we make sure that each seat have the numbering on it. So each people get one seat, and for the free riders, we need to have a checkpoint at the gate of the station to make sure only people with tickets can enter. And on the limited passenger trains, we need to upgrade and add the current passenger train so that it can reach the demand of customers. On loose and unstructured regulation, we can create a solid and firm structure so that passenger will follow regulation, that operation of KAI will be the most at effective state. And for the hot and unpleasant smell environment, we need to prioritize making a comfortable experience to retain customer and avoid casualties. Next slide. So with the upgraded operational flow of KAI implemented progressively throughout time, almost every aspect of the problem that exists has been solved. And here are the customer flow. First, on the purchasing ticket, there are 3 ways on the website, on the spot, which is a Go Show, and also at mini market. And here are the interface of it. We use the revitalization of technology through Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and also big data analytics. Next slide. And next, on the step of customer flow, there are ticket verification, which is consists of check-in counter, which is an automatic check-in system, and also face recognition. So people can just pass through and be recognized as the entity. And for the journey experience, there are the seat numbering and also AC and comfortable seat, and also adding up fleet so that it meets the demands of the KAI passenger. Next slide.
The next one is the marketing and branding of PT KAI before and after Ignatius Jonan's tenure. As we can see here, Ignatius Jonan tried to be focusing on the basic and starting small to rebrand and transform PT KAI. So beforehand, how was the initial condition of PT KAI before his tenure? The first one is outdated brand image, which we can see from the old logo and branding that were unappealing and did not represent a PT KAI as train service provider in Indonesia. Next one is poor service quality, facility, and punctuality, which we can conclude from the frequent delays, safety issues, and unclean facility. The next one is limited digital presence with no online ticketing or mobile apps that make ticket and accessing information hard or inconvenient. Next one is negative public perception from many reasons. Next one is heavily reliant on state funds. And what are the changes that had been done by PT KAI? First one is changing its logo from the old one to a more modern one that are more presentable for PT KAI. And the next one is refurbishment of facility from the toilets, stations, and also the trains that fixes the problem of safety issues. Next one is developing KAI Access as an app which we could buy a ticket online and also access information conveniently. The next one is Bangun dan Lari slogan, which begins a new chapter for PT KAI that starts from its branding because KCIC, a railway company that in a collaboration with China is entering the Indonesian market.
Okay, and then let's get on to the finance part. Well, we can see first from the financial report. As we can see here, 2009 is the beginning of KAI transformation from having 82.6 billion losses in 2008 to 154 billion profit in 2009 in the span of 1 year. And since then, they always gain profit. So it can be proof of success of KAI transformation. And we believe that this thing can happen basically because the main thing is they focus in internal problem and then fix the ticketing problem and focusing in modernization as mentioned by Alfari in the operation part before. And lastly, they changed the KAI to a customer-oriented company. And other than that, they focus on having a portfolio diversification, which is PT Reska Multiusaha that focus in the service of KAI, and then PT KA Pariwisata, which is kereta api jarak jauh, and then KA Logistik focusing in logistic, PT Railing focusing in airport train, and then PT KAI Komuter Jabodetabek, which is KRL, and lastly is KAI Property. And as you can see here, by implementing portfolio diversification, KAI can increase profit, but at the same time reducing their business risk. Next slide.
Okay, so we conduct an in-depth interview with one of the users of KAI, and then we also find a research about in-depth interview towards Ignatius Jonan. So the problem analysis that analyzed by Ignatius Jonan when he became the main director of PT KAI is that all of the aspects in PT KAI are the problems. And then the first step towards to solve the KAI problems are first, Mr. Jonan fixed the remuneration. They also fixed the promotion system by no more system urut kacang. They also fixed the ticketing system by implementing Skiva and SAP on ticketing system. And also they create a new customer service on station and on train, and also implementing a call center 1-to-1. And how much the duration for changes in PT KAI from 2009, which is 2 years.
Okay, next, we move on to the user review from Ms. Dita. For the duration of the use of KAI service by Mrs. Dita is at 1992 through 1999. So she used KAI every 2 or 3 months, and the biggest difference in facilities and the system is about buying tickets, which is a lot easier now than in the 90s. And for the different in changes, the service quality remain consistent with the friendly staff, but information now is more clearer due to the usage of application, website, and etc.
Okay, and then so based on Mrs. Dita interview, she said that there is differences in ticket booking. So booking ticket now is much easier, so no need to queue and no more ticket scalpers. If tickets are unavailable, it is clear we don't need to wait in line. And the most satisfying component is the ease of ticket booking. So this is what Mr. Jonan has been said in the beginning has become a reality in this era.
Okay, moving on to the conclusion and future recommendation. So after reviewing the transformation of KAI from the year of 2000s to the 2010s, initiated by Ignatius Jonan, we concluded that KAI has already done their job and homework, but as usual, there are always room for improvements, and our recommendations, there are two types. The first one is minor and the major one. In the minor, we would like to see a personalized advertisement through their social media, through their application, so people could notice information about KAI service, and also multilingual support with the higher demand day by day of the KAI usage by the foreigners. We think that is essential to incorporate this as well. And also station revitalization, as we are living in Yogyakarta. I've noticed some of the station is not entirely good, and we want to see improvement on that. And the final one in the minor part is onboard entertainment. And the major recommendation, the first one is to expand the services outside of Java Island. As we know, Java Island is the kind of the main part of Indonesia itself, but we want to see KAI expand more to maybe to the Kalimantan, to Sumatra, and to other islands, so that the services by PT KAI can be equal in all of the islands in Indonesia. The second one is to increase the number of commuter train line fleet. KRL itself is really crowded in the work hour, usually in during 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock when the workers get home. It's very crowded, and sometimes it is unpleasant to be in that situation. So if KAI could increase the number of the commuter train fleet, we think that it will be a good improvement to the customer experience itself. And the third one is AI implementation, especially in the operation field, with lots of room for improvement in this. And the final one is long distance fast train. As we know, the swoosh from Jakarta to Bandung is actually handled not by KAI but by KCIC, Kereta Cepat Indonesia Cina, joint venture of BUMN and also Chinese company. And we want to see KAI actually move to and expand their services into long distance fast train as well. And with this recommendation, we would like to see PT KAI Indonesia realize their vision of becoming the best transportation ecosystem solution for Indonesia. As I mentioned before, there are 4 pain points, and we are gonna close this presentation with 4 good points. For now, the first one is good corporate culture, which they change throughout the transformation. The second one is now they have competence human resource. The third one is convenient services. And the fourth and final one is efficient and digital based. So that's it for the presentation, and thank you very much.